You hear people say this often on the streets, that we have enough laws, it's just not implemented. And as lawyers, we know that the reason as to why they are not implemented is because they are not implementable in the first place. Vidhi is a vehicle by which we can have better laws and which can actually make a positive difference to people's lives. The idea of Vidhi came about sometime in 2009 or 10. There was a lot of controversy in India around the Indo-US nuclear deal. We were a set of graduate students. It was me, my classmate Prashant, who's now heading the judicial reforms team, who came together and said that we need to write a report that we can give to the Standing Committee of Parliament, that the nuclear liability bill, which was actually concretizing the Indo-US nuclear deal into law, is really badly drafted and we need to suggest some improvements. So we sent in an unsolicited report.
I met Olgo at Oxford as a graduate student. He approached me with this idea and I was really intrigued by it.
Olgo suddenly tells me, you're going to be heading our international law team. And I didn't know how to react.
It made me aware that there were two institutions which were in dire need of reform in India, namely the judiciary and also the government.
At least I strongly felt that we should be consulted on every single important legislation in the country.
We realized that bankruptcy is one area where there is a lot that can be done. So we prepared this concept note and we met some officials in the Ministry of Finance. And as luck would have it, they gave us our first brief. And ever since, we have been working with the government in improving the bankruptcy ecosystem in the country.
We were really helped by Dr. Ashok Ganguly. He was a former chairman of Unilever and Vidhi's first chairman. And he really gave us the confidence to believe in ourselves that though we were lawyers and academics, we could also be fledgling entrepreneurs.
So when I got talking on the bankruptcy law reform in 2014, this was one more area where we needed serious capacity marrying law and economics. And the academic credentials of the two guys who came and met me were more than enough to persuade us to sort of jump into it. And clearly, we did make a great judgment.
I was then Secretary, Department of Expenditure in Government of India. And we were looking at doing a law for public procurement. We were looking for fresh ideas. We were looking for good drafting skills, and which we didn't have in the department. And we had a very short window within which to do it. So I think that's why we went to Vidhi.
The Justice Sri Krishna's committee was formed, and Vidhi, through its very, very extensive research, and there, we had the benefit of getting a position of law across the world, and what exactly the problem that they face, and what we should do in our country, and how we should address those challenges. So their input was very, very valuable. And that is why we could do this task in a very, very short time.
As it turns out, I think today we can say to a large percentage it's true. As in, be it bankruptcy, be it Aadhaar, be it GST, I think there's been a fairly significant contribution that Vidhi has made.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable,
At that point of time, we thought there were only 16 discriminatory laws. But when we started working with Vidhi, we discovered there were about 119 discriminatory laws. And again, we don't have the kind of legal expertise that Vidhi has. And that's when, again, we turned back to them and what do we do? How do we take it forward? PIL, yes, of course, it's been really a milestone, what I can say. And it's really helped.
Academia is sort of intrinsically interesting, and perhaps you can't see the immediate impact of it, but it provides the germ for the big ideas that ultimately pave the way for actual reform. So what I'm particularly proud of is the diversity of viewpoints at Vidhi.
We have been incredibly fortunate to draw on a very large talent pool and continue to attract the best and brightest.
I remember the first day I joined Vidhi, I was very categorically asked, Namrata, what is it that you want to do here and what can we as a platform provide you with? And I had said that I wanted to work in the LGBT rights space, and Vidhi has been there with me at every step of the way.
जब विधि ओपन हुआ था तब मैंने ज्वाइन किया। नमकीन सैंडविच बहुत फेमस है।
One of the members of our board, Mr. Uday Shankar had told me when we were starting up that please make sure you celebrate the little things because the little things matter.
I hope that by about 2020 July, Vidhi is seen as a fundamental part of the civil society ecosystem in Karnataka.
I hope that 5 years down the line, it's not me who's having this conversation about where Vidhi is 10 years down the line, but it's somebody else. And I think that that's critical for any institution to evolve, and I hope that happens with Vidhi too.